The flaw in that infant industries argument is that it depends on the government knowing which are the industries of the future and showing a wisdom that they never show in their day-to-day dealings on any other subject, and being able to forecast where the growth is going to come. Now, occasionally, by the law of averages, they will do that, but they will always end up doing it less than if it was allowed to happen on its own. The classic example of this, which is always the one that they teach in economics courses, was the Brazilian attempt to foster a computer industry in the 1980s by having high tariff laws. The trouble with the infant industries argument is that it infantilizes the industry. It stops the industry needing to develop. It, in fact, weakens it. Ronald Reagan put it beautifully when he said instead of protectionism, we should call it destructionism, because it's what stops the industries you're interested in from becoming strong and competitive and able to flourish on global terms. I think your question, though, Juan, was, can we name an example? I mean, look, just to illustrative purposes, I think it's really interesting to look at the examples from the two ends of the spectrum, because often that's a nice way of proving a point. The most protectionist country in the world is North Korea, where import substitution and self-sufficiency, juche, have been elevated to be the ruling principle of policy. And North Korea is the last place on the planet where you still have man-made famines. At the other end of that spectrum is Singapore, about which Terence is so dismissive. Singapore, that embraced free trade almost the moment it became independent from the Malaysian Federation. Singapore is a successful industrial as well as services economy. Dyson just moved to Singapore. They didn't move for low wage. In fact, Jim Dyson said to me, the one thing that no one can accuse me of doing is moving from Britain to Singapore because I'm after cheap liquor. I found one of the few places where the wage cost is substantially higher. But because it has embraced free trade, because it gives him access to global markets, it was still a package that he preferred to what was on offer elsewhere.